All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. I'm just going to headset off real quick. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name's Brogan, and today, obviously, we are back for another simple signal stream. Now, obviously, it's been titled The Election Special. If you've joined, you'll see the title. We're going to be treating the charts a bit differently today. You know, understandably, markets be a bit, a bit crazy. Next coming days, obviously, it might take a couple of days for them to count the votes and actually announce it. So we might move a bit, bit dodgy, but obviously not saying we're gonna pump and dump and pump again or anything crazy like that. But I think on election day, obviously it's election day today, but obviously when everything gets announced, 'cause it's not gonna get announced. I don't believe it gets announced today, right? No, I think this is the day where they close, and then it closes today, and then it takes a couple of days. I think this is when the day it closes, and it's been done. Actually, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know what are we doing? Are we at 69? Sorry, I'm being really distracted right now. I was trying to read the I'm pretty sure this is when it says it closes. Okay, so I don't think it's just yet. Obviously it's gonna be a bit erratic over them. So my preface was for this stream that take things with a pinch of salt, many pinches of salt. Okay, make sure. If any stream you're going to listen to the intro, and when I say no, this is financial advice, make sure this is one of the streams, okay? Because realistically, things can go two ways. Well, things can go many ways, but things can go two ways. On the surface level, it's either Trump wins or Kamala wins. But obviously, if you go a bit deeper, then there could be like a miscount, and then they have to recount all the votes again, and they have to announce it again. So there's things like that which can happen, which are definitely going to affect the market in a certain way. You can see right now, feeling greed, it's at exactly 50. We're pretty on the fence right now. Obviously because it's elections. It's gonna get a bit crazy. We know one of them's pretty pro crypto, whether it be reading off a teleprompter or not. He's still, in theory, pro crypto. And then one is, I don't even know what she's doing. All I know is like she's doing something that Trump's already doing, and then she's just like, I don't know. I think we know who's gonna win. Hopefully. And I think based on filtering through common interest, I think we all have a similar want for this election. And again, obviously I don't live in America, so it doesn't directly affect me, but obviously it's going to affect everything as we know it in terms of the market. So I think, if you're all watching, you're all part crypto, I believe, obviously this isn't my assumption, obviously some of you may be pro Kamala, but I believe the majority of us can be pro Trump. I don't really like to get political on streams. I just do my charts. I talk to you guys, relax a bit, have a little fun. We do our giveaway streams, relax there as well, and then we go. Okay, we don't do any of this handy-pandy, political stuff. Okay, that's when stuff gets a bit too deep. But I think we're all pretty much on the side of Donald Trump. If you aren't, then that is your opinion. I really don't care. And yeah, that's another thing I want to preface as well, because again, I'm not affiliated with anybody here. Okay, although I do think Trump may or may not win. and whatnot. But again, I'm not gonna get political. I'm not gonna talk about it. I can talk for ages about it. But yeah, it's gonna affect the market. It's gonna be, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be erratic mainly. Okay, so things we may see on the stream, or things you may have already on the charts, it may go a bit faulty from here. Okay, so I'm gonna do my best to talk about what we've already done and talk about what we may do in the future, coming up to this, that, the other, and go from there. But again, I do want to preface that this stream is majoritively going to be us. We're going to look at the charts, look at the charts and see what we've already done between last stream and this stream. Yeah, cool. But I don't think I'm going to spend too much time looking forward, because we are going to be doing stuff which you can't really chart. Unless you have some insider information, or you have something which charts or I don't know, statistically guesses who's going to win this, that, the other, then, fair enough. But we don't have that right here. We have the charts. That's all we have. Okay, so I can't really do that. So yeah, the future charts are going to be quite limited this stream, because, again, like I said, as we know, elections. I believe the polls closed today. I think that's how it was. Yeah, they closed right now. They haven't been counted. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I don't know, though. Have they already been closed? I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I do not know. Election. Hold on, wait. Election. Here we go. In background, I don't care about background states. I just care about when they close. They close America evening today, I believe it is. November 5th. Yeah, okay, that's today. Yeah, okay, so they open, close at 9 p.m. This is within today. So I do believe this is today. Right, okay, that's historical. Okay, so I think they closed today. I might be mistaken there. But anyway, I don't care. Let's just get on to it. Let's get on to what we're doing. Okay, let me read the chat first. What I also will say is check the descriptions wherever you're watching. Very useful links down there. As always, Telegram and the Twitter are probably most important. Let me read some Binance chat, because again, I normally read YouTube chat because that's where everyone is. See what people are saying in Binance. Okay, because obviously it's I am streaming there. Chit hopefully I said your name right. I don't know. Hi bro, hello to you. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you enjoy. If it's your first time, I don't recognize the name, so it might be your first stream. So welcome. Let me read the YouTube chat though. Obviously where it is. Obviously if you're on Binance, I would recommend. I'm not trying to drag you away, but I would recommend going to YouTube, because that's where I am. Okay, that's where the chat is. That's what I read normally. So go to Crypto Warehouse on Google. Just go to Google Crypto Warehouse. Boom. First link YouTube. Live stream. There you go. See what people are saying. So as we know, Kishan. Hello, Crypto Warehouse family. The GOAT. Always in the chat first. Just, what can I say? Can you tell us what happens tomorrow if Trump wins? Absolutely. We'll get into it. Even though a big day, yeah. I mean, this is going to be one of the biggest days in terms of... I mean, I'm not saying it's going to change the way crypto is going to think, but it's definitely going to shape how we move in crypto coming forward. I'm not saying it's going to completely change if we go to 10k or 150k, but it's definitely going to kind of aid in terms of the pathway we take during crypto. Or at least Bitcoin, and if it's with Bitcoin, then it is going to be with crypto. KB, shout out to you, man. Evening to you too. DJ and Shoebox, welcome back. Up and up. Hopefully, if all things go well, open up and up. Morning in Oz, and our morning news team are in DC with the bullshit flying you up today's bit. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be so much trash. I saw a video actually today, I think it was. I can't remember when the video was, but it was one of the pole trucks driving away with the poles, and the back door didn't get closed, and the poles just fell out the truck and were just sealed, and they didn't come back to get it. So I already know guaranteed there are polls which haven't been counted. I can always get, unless they've been returned. I didn't see a follow-up video. The guy, he took the poll box, took it home, and he looked inside. Well, he didn't look inside. I don't know. I can't remember what he did, but he basically took the box with him or something like that. Or I don't know if he left it. I can't remember. Basically, I don't think there's a follow-up video, so I don't know if they're going to come back to get the polls. So I can almost guarantee right now that it is at least going to be, and there's a non-zero chance that there are going to be polls which didn't get counted properly. And from then on, that's immediately all I know is going to be a finesse. And another thing I saw, I'm not going to get political here because we are on YouTube, but I saw that they apparently did a test run poll announcement or vote announcement on some American news channel, and it voted for Harris. I don't know why you do a poll test and then give the vote to somebody. You do a non-standing test. You wouldn't give the vote to somebody. They gave it to Harris, as we all know. So I don't know if they're going to try and set something up here. But again, we already found out that they miscounted this, that, the other last time. And it took till like basically the 2/3 of the way through November to actually get it properly counted. So we could have, like I said in the intro, we could have a secondary kind of effect. Not only do we have the first one, they might announce it. They might realize they've got recounts. So we might pump, we might dump. Again, they'll have to wait, and then we might pump again, depending on the recount. So there might be a recount. Again, there's going to be a whole lot of shady stuff going on, whole lot of finessery going on in the next coming days from today, basically. Let me scroll through a bit. Hold on. Trump wins or I quit. I won't quit if Trump doesn't win. I definitely think it's going to be tough. Have you seen what Elon Musk says? Well, oh my days. Joe Rogan, Elon Musk, he says, this may be our last vote. This may be, or not ours, America. This might be America's last president vote. He's talking about if, I can't remember what he said. I didn't watch it, okay? But apparently he's trying to say, oh yeah, Trump doesn't win. War, this, that, the other, this, that, the other. I'm not going to say it. But yeah, maybe. We never know. I mean, I don't really know what Kamala's doing. I'm not going to lie. I don't think there's a lot under the sun, going on there. But they're going to be counting for a few days. Exactly, yeah. So I believe this is the day where the polls actually close. They're going to be counting and they're actually going to announce it. Probably like November. They wouldn't announce. Would they announce on Saturday? I don't think. They're going to announce maybe like the Monday, all right, or the Friday. I don't know if they do weekend stuff. I don't know how long it took 2020, but obviously there was a recount which brought it into like 20th of November time. So it might be, the actual final result might be like end of the week or Monday. I actually don't know when it's going to take or how long it's going to take, but it's going to take a couple of days, absolutely. Because of fraud, exactly, yeah. But I do believe this vote has a lot less, not zero, but a lot less mail-in votes than there was last time. So there's a lot more virtual. Although I have seen a ton of videos. And again, I don't know if it's set up. I keep on going on. We're 22 minutes into the stream, or that's including the intro, or including the intro. We're 10 minutes into the stream. I still haven't gone to any charts yet, but I just see another video. Someone was voting, and they tried to click Trump like 5 times, and then it glitched and chose Kamala. I don't know if they went through with it, but there's definitely gonna be tons of stuff going on, which are gonna be like shady stuff to try and get each side. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if both sides did shady stuff to get it. But anyway, Chris, my friend, we want the Trump pump. Exactly. I mean, I don't want to assume anything. So there might be people in here who do support, certain parties or whatever. So obviously I didn't want to alienate anybody in the chat saying, oh yeah, we want Trump. If you don't want Trump, you're an idiot. Obviously, there are going to be different outcomes depending on who wins. And I definitely think Trump's going to be the majoritively positive versus Kamala, but obviously it's your own world. Top up, Danny. Shout out to you. Don't worry, Trump said I should win easily. I mean, I hope so. Obviously, hope so. I think I definitely. I mean, obviously, we know the majority of presidents. It's like 10%, 20% actually interesting stuff, and actually stuff which matters, and then 80% is just what's the word? Social playing, whatever the hell. So I know Kamala's trying to pull it all out. I've seen it like the rehearsed speeches she gives, and she changes her accent depending on who she's speaking to. There's a whole lot of crap going on, and it's actually embarrassing. But anyway, whatever. Based on our poll, Trump wins. Yeah, we did have a YouTube vote actually, where it's like who wins, Kamala or Trump, and I don't even know what the numbers were, but I think it was majoritively pretty much maximum Trump. There might be like one or two people saying Kamala, but whatever. Might be the misclick. Think I may go crazy. Yeah, exactly. It's gonna go crazy. I think definitely on the build-up, it's definitely gonna be erratic. I think there's gonna be a lot of because you have to think. Obviously, again, it depends on who you talk to. But it's like, okay, who actually is in control of the market? Who actually interacts with it? Obviously, there is an amount of people, depending on what market you're looking at. There's majoritively big, organized movements rather than just internal individual investments. But again, you have to think. Whether it be a minute or a maximum amount of the trading volume be individuals trading based on their ways and emotions, that's going to take a big effect on the market if their emotions are skewed. And I think not only is it going to be emotions, but it's also going to be logic. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to do this investment, I'm going to do this, I'm going to long here, I'm going to short here. But it's like, oh, but wait, let's think about this. Obviously, we're going to have everyone's already aware of the fact that we have this election, we're going to have the results. you know, that isn't, even if it's not an emotional side of things, it's also going to be on a logical side of things where it's like, okay, this is going to matter in the market. This is definitely going to be a big shifter. So not only are individuals going to be emotionally swayed based on how they feel about the elections, and then on an organized side of things, on a bigger, you know, the whale side of things, it's like, okay, well, logically, we know this is going to take an effect on the market, so we're going to trade accordingly. So across the board, I do believe there's going to be massive effect, not only of the result itself, but of the build-up, which is going to affect how people trade and how, obviously, risk on or risk off they are, not in terms of what they trade in, but in terms of how they go about their trade. So definitely, from now until we get the announcement, and until there's a recount, if there's not, or if there isn't, it's just going to be crazy. So again, going back to the fact that I said, you know, this is TA. It's never guaranteed at all. I get things wrong. I get things right. I like getting things right. I don't like getting things wrong. But it just happens, okay? Because we're in trading. You know, we're looking at TA. It's hard to get things right all the time. Oh, yeah, as well, obviously, if you're on YouTube, you know, DJ Shoebox, you know, does music. Go check it out as well. Not to, you know, advertise, you know what I'm saying, but yeah, he's in the chat right now. Actually, I need to move on, actually, because I'll keep on reading the chat. I thought, you know what? 15 minutes in, I haven't moved from CoinMarketCap. I haven't even scrolled down once. Okay. I don't know what we're doing. We're doing pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, okay, that's crazy, actually. That just happened. Yeah, as I was doing the intro, in between, because, okay, I was confused, because we were like, let me go back to the 1 hour. We were at 70k. I was like, oh, cool, we're at 70k, cool. Okay, we're at 70k. I was like, okay, this is good. I'm going to talk about this. And then as I went on to CoinMarketCap, as I was, you know, on the put it on the screen, 69,454. What happened? And then obviously we've dumped, which is crazy. This ideals area is going to be crazy as well. This stuff. I might look at one of these articles. This like US election propelled Bitcoin past 74k. I'll look at one of them. I want to see what people are thinking, because this, again, like I said, this is majoritively. It's going to be looking at past TA majoritively. It's going to be one of those streams because, again, I don't really plan to do a lot of TA which looks at future TA in terms of individual, like, order blocks, breaker blocks, fair value gaps, or inefficiencies, you know, rejection blocks, this, that, the other, or trends. I'm not going to really look at that too much. I'm just going to be really looking at what prices we could see depending on how the market moves. Because I'm going to give prices on the upper end and the lower end, because, again, there's no way I can confirm an upper or an upper or down based on the election. But again, you know, my price targets can get absolutely smashed, because obviously it happened before. If it's going to be likely to happen at any time, it's going to be during elections and election announcements, if we announce but when the announcements happen. So again, do bear that in mind. Yeah, we dumped a bit. Anyway, so percentage wise, you know, we're here and there. Okay, there's definitely a lot of uncertainty on the lead up to this election, not only for polls. Because again, I don't look at the main news like the, you know, the global news. No, not global news. Like, is in news channels. I don't really look at news channels too much, because I don't really like to look at news channels too much, because, you know what I'm saying, it's just a lot of fodder. There's a lot of trash on the screen. There's a lot of trash going on. I don't really want to listen to it. Okay, so I'm sure that is also a different aspect which people are going to be looking at, because again, this run-up's going to take... This run-up isn't only from now. It's going to be definitely a couple days before and a couple days before. I don't know when the exact run-up's going to be. I can't give you an exact, you know, psychological idea of when the run-up started, but I definitely think we're in the midst of the run-up to the election. Obviously, the polls are just closed. Obviously, we are in the midst of it. Although not closed yet, because obviously I think 5 hours ahead. Obviously, there's different time zones and whatnot. I don't know what time it is between my actual time and when the polls close, but it doesn't really matter. Again, this run-up is definitely going to cause a whole lot of trash going on during the market. So we've got lots to talk about in terms of previous TA, in between where we were, which again, I did mention back here pretty nicely versus now. I will talk about this. I'll talk about this whole area. I'll talk about where we are now. I don't care about this anymore. I'm going to look at Bitcoin. I don't care. Let's go on the 4 hour. So, last TA, obviously last TA was here. I just drew this in before I started the stream. So the last TA I really had was back here. This is horrible color. There we go. So last year I had realistically on Bitcoin. It must have been a stream or whatever it was. You can see. What stream was it? When was my last stream? I think I didn't do Friday. I don't think I did Friday. obviously we had streams during Wednesday, Thursday time. Did I look at Bitcoin? I think I might have looked at Bitcoin really quickly on stream. I don't know exactly when my last time I looked at the charts in terms of on stream was, but I know this was the last tier I had before this movement. So I remember saying, and I'm going to say it again because I mentioned it, I did want to really ingrain this in people's minds. If you are someone who does listen to my tier, if you don't, if you're just like looking at it, whatever, I don't care. If you're someone who does listen to my tier, I did mention this when I looked at it. I looked at this on stream, mentioned it before, and how comparable this was to this down here. This red area and this red area here, I believe, are not identical in terms of prices or heights. I think in the way we interact with these areas are going to be pretty identical, personally. Because I said this at the time. I said we did the exact same thing back here. It's pretty much the exact same offset. If you look, like, you know, between the orange line and the middle of that. Hold on, let me try to get this. Hold on. So that's a 0.84% offset. This is a 1.1 offset, so relatively close. But the offsets in between this red area and this red area are very similar. And again, remember, these are areas which are in the order block area, which means these are going to, in theory, be valid areas. Because all these ranges do is tells me if these are going to be valid or not valid, kind of TA methods like order blocks, breaker blocks, rejection blocks, etc. So it isn't within the area of proper order block. So was this one. This again, like I said, this area down here and this area down here and up here, these are pretty much identical areas. In terms of the way we acted, look, we came up, we formed it, bounced off it a couple times, came down, formed it, bounced off it. We bounced off it. We're on the 4 hour. You know, here we slightly bounced here and then came down. So we've had bounces off both these areas, pretty similar to each other, and then obviously we came down. It's very similar to here. Formed it, came down. Obviously, in this case, we didn't hold the orange line properly because, again, we didn't truly hold. And again, remember what I always talk about? I talk about the extension line. You need to come above the extension line. I can feel it coming out. I can feel the spaghetti coming out. Yeah, my drink, okay? Sometimes my brain goes too fast. I try and get all the words out. No. Take this nice and slowly, okay? The purple line, what is it? The extension line. If we go and scroll out, you can see this main pink. This is okay. 72,888 is the extension line for that range in between 72,173 coming up towards 78k. That is the extension line of that range. Now, we didn't obviously get above it and we didn't hold it, which tells me we're not ready to be in this range yet. Identical thing to back here. The orange line, or the line should be here, 66332, I believe that is extension line. Yeah, okay. So this is extension line. This is our bounce. This is our continuation. This proves to me that we are ready for this area. Same thing happened here. I talked about it at the time, and I keep on talking about it. We came up, everyone was so excited. Oh my god, we're going to do this. We're so ready. We didn't come above 66,382. And I was talking about this on stream. I was talking about this area, this purple area, not getting back above it or getting up it and holding it. I talked about it. You know, I talked about it as it was happening. I said we're not getting above it. We're going to come down. Where do we come to? Previous support. We actually also fell through. This is a massive fall. Actually, we didn't only just we bounced off equilibrium, as you can see here with this little bounce. We not only bounced off equilibrium, but we also fell through it. So this is a massive fall as well. But when you don't hold these proper areas of expanding into the next range, you then proceed to fall. If you, after a certain period of time, after the trend changes, you then continue to fall pretty rapidly. And again, our sentiment in terms of the charts is pretty bullish. We didn't fall too crazy. We did fall below equilibrium, but not by any means crazy. Again, if you look at the daily, we did have a print below. We're currently trying to get back above it right now on the on this daily right now. Obviously Tuesday. Because we had this bounce, we had this come up. We didn't really come back to test it. We tested it here, holding back above it here. Obviously, we now slip below, and then now we're trying to get back above. Obviously, the print there will determine. But looking at the 4 hour, we can actually see data. It does show the action pretty normally. So these areas, like I said, are pretty identical, and we did the exact same thing in both of them. We didn't manage to get back above or get above the purple line, which is the extension line. We then formed the order block. We then used the resistance, once, twice, whatever it did, and then we fell. Pretty pretty much identical to what we did 20th September time. So no worry there in terms of how we've moved. I'm not worried in the slightest. This isn't some weird TA. This isn't some weird price action. This is just how it happened. Okay. So again, to reiterate, we do need to get above. I believe this is the one. Is it this? Is it this line? No, it's this one. Okay. So 72.9 is the line we need to get above and test the support. But we can get above towards 73.278 if we use that support instead. As long as we're using support and we find a hold above 72.9, then we are in a good position to then be looking at coming towards 75k, trying to get up towards the next max range at 78k or 78.7 in this case. So pretty normal TA, no surprise here. Didn't get above purple line. We formed an order block, we used it, we fell. Same exact TA as we did last time. What also happened during this fall, formed a massive candle here. It's actually even bigger on, I don't know why I drew it to there. I think I was on the, I wasn't on the daily, was I? I think I was on the 1 hour. Yeah, so on the 1 hour, you can see we formed a nice gap here, which obviously we came to the midpoint and then fell down again. So if we go back to the 4 hour to actually see it, you can see this movement formed it, obviously dipped into it, came down again. So we did try to hold equilibrium. We then fell below, and then we bounced off the outer rim of it, tried to get back above, and then failed again. But then obviously we had a pretty much a hard stop at this main area, which is let me scroll through, is also another breaker block we have. And again, I said this, my last stream was a couple days ago. Not a couple days ago, actually, probably a week ago. I can't remember. When was my last TA stream on Bitcoin? It probably would have been a week ago, because, or a week and a day, a week ago, whenever it was, because, probably within either this Monday, 20th of October, or above. Because we did look at the charts, or Bitcoin charts, on one of the giveaway streams really quickly. I did want to look at it. So we did look at this quickly. The last main TA stream was one of these candles here, this big run up. But obviously I did talk about quite a lot in these, in those two streams. I did talk quite a lot about this breaker block. And I said, we realistically need to come back to, obviously, I believe I actually said we need to come back to test this breaker block. So this is good. And again, remember, I also mentioned this on the stream as well. On the stream, I talked about this breaker block. I said this is a daily order block, or a daily breaker block, sorry. So this is going to take quite a while to come back to, but I reckon we'll probably come back to it. And what did we do? Obviously, we found our resistance rejection block, or the extension block. We formed an order block, found resistance, fell down, fair value gap, filled it, fell down more, fell below equilibrium, tested breaker block, found support. We're coming back up now. So if you just denoise everything, if I remove the range and denoised it, and let's just squint your eyes, okay? Just look at this. If we didn't have anything going on in the world, we didn't have any ranges, I didn't have any lines, I didn't have any other, supports or resistances or anything like that, and we just had this movement and this box, personally, I'd say, well, we're on the daily, this is going to be a large time frame, so we might do intermittent movements on the 4 hour and lower, but as I see it on the daily, we're going to come up, find resistance somewhere, come back down to breaker block and test it support. I said that on the stream as well. Obviously, we did that pretty nicely with this movement. So to denoise it, that's basically all that's really happened. Even though it looks messy, we've bounced off here, then we came down to here, found support here, fell below, found resistance, support, resistance. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit messy, but to kind of squint your eyes on a specific area of that breaker block, we did exactly what I thought we were going, or what I hoped to do. Because obviously no one likes falling, and no one likes the price to go down. But sometimes it's necessary in these scenarios where we do need to find support somewhere. So found support here. This is good. We're trying to get back above equilibrium after one bounce. So again, if we denoise and trying to remember what we did on the daily's checklist, or the to-do list on the daily was come back down to breaker block, continue onwards. What have we done on that checklist so far? Come back down to breaker block. I reckon we're definitely going to flip this equilibrium, and we're going to come up. But again, remember, I'm going to say this every single chart, or every single thing I think we're going to do in the future. I'm going to say this every single time I try and mention something we're going to do, in the next day or 2 or 3, whatever it's going to take. Make sure you remember elections. That's going to get announced sometime soon. Be careful trading. Be careful doing TA, because things can go south very fast in these scenarios. But taking that into account, as I see it currently, I personally think we're gonna hold this equilibrium. Personally, we are gonna have resistance at this although this is a breaker block, we haven't had much hope of holding it as a breaker block. So I definitely think we're going to find resistance here. You know, not to say we haven't found support before, because again, you know, we have found support previously. We have tried again, but the majority of the time, we use it resistance, you know. Apart from like here, mainly it's been, you know, resistance, resistance, resistance over here, resistance, resistance, resistance here, resistance where we are now. So, you know, it's not really great support, but it is great resistance because, you know, it is going to be an order block. So we are going to have some difficulty trying to get back above 69, you know, 8 basically. But as I see it right now, I think we'll get back above it because we've got back above it before. We'll do it again. So, you know, excluding that, we do need to just kind of continue coming upwards. If we go back to the daily, we don't really have any order blocks or anything of concern. So the next main point I have of resistance is going to be this orange area, which I believe is just an order block. You know, we did use as resistance until we came up. It wasn't too strong. And again, even if we didn't have this fair value gap, we did come into the midpoint and then come back down again. So it is still resistance. We are definitely going to find resistance there. I do believe at, you know, 71.1. There's a bit of a gap here, though, which actually does... We've already filled it there, haven't we? This is also within fair value gap area. And if we actually draw it, you can see we have tested it and came down again. So this isn't pretty good. You can see this is the area where fair value gaps form. We have the triangles, or the two candles in here, which formed this area here, which you can see we have tapped into and then come back down again. So we do technically have fair value gap, which we filled. So that might, if it is what has caused this movement downwards, this does kind of explain why we've had a big dump, because we've touched this area where there are still potential sells which are, you know, outlying. So in theory, we have tested some of this. Again, I think there are you know, times where you can come into fair value gaps multiple times. I don't really know personally myself. I'm not too much of a professional when it comes to inefficiencies, because there may be higher sell orders within this area. Okay, because all I say, with fair value gaps, you touch into it to fill the cells, and then you come back down. I don't really know how true that is. Okay, I don't really think that doesn't feel right with me. It doesn't sit right with me. What I would think is there's going to be multiple different areas of orders, unless obviously again it gets changed, because orders can get changed. Again, that's why sometimes looking at order flow is a bit of a shaky one, because orders can just, you know, get removed like that. You know, there can be big market people who can just put massive orders in and then remove them. And let's say you're banking on a massive area at 70k, and then all the orders get removed, and then it's not an area anymore. So again, orders can get removed, can get added. So in terms to say that they'll get removed again or not get removed in this area, maybe a bit foolish of me. But as I know it, you touch into these areas and then you that's it for them. So in theory, there shouldn't be more cells there. But again, it could be an outlasting area where at 70,700, 600 area, there could be more cells which come back down below. So if we do fill this area and come back above, you know, thinking about 70,650 area, wherever it is, or 70,700, I'd say, if we get back above that, that'll probably be that area, you know, complete. So then the next step for me is 71,121, which is, you know, resistance here. I'm going to delete this as well because we have filled it appropriately. So I think both of these are filled. I don't think we'll have difficulty there. So I think the next step for me is finding resistance at 71,120 kind of area. Again, obviously, it is actually getting above these areas. You know, we do have to consider that first, getting above these before we look at this. But as I see it, I think looking on the daily, I think we have good market structure. We haven't done a lower low. You know, we've definitely have done a higher high. So as I see it right now, we haven't showed signs based on market structure alone. We haven't shown signs of slowing down on the daily. So in theory, it should be another higher high next, coming towards 74k. And again, this is on the daily, so that's going to take a couple candles to happen. And by then, that's probably when the election results get announced. So that could even mean we'll have, you know, a bit of a head and shoulders, which brings us down. If we do have a negative result, that could, in theory, happen. Because again, I mean, I'm not going to bank the election results on a chart pattern like a head and shoulders, like a slanted head and shoulders. I'm not going to say that. But, you know, if, let's say, Trump does get announced, which I hope he does, obviously, you know, I can't say anything. I can't say anything, but again, I'm not a crystal ball owner. I don't know how to read crystal balls or anything like that. So I don't know if that's, you know, that scenario is more likely or not likely. Obviously, I think they are very close though. I think The percentages are extremely close when it comes to Trump versus Harris. So I guess we'll see. But you know, that could just continue our normal chart action, which would be nice. It'll be nice to have that if we have normal market structure. You know, oh, Trump's been announced, bang, up we come towards 74k for the equilibrium, 75k even, and then boom, we have another low here at this breaker block, or we have a low at resistance, or this order block, sorry, and then we continue on. So that could be nice if we did have that announcement, because it would just give us a normal price action coming upwards, you know, in this kind of, you know, area we have. But also, you know, if you are someone who looks at chart patterns, I don't really look at too many chart patterns like that, but this is an expanding triangle here, which in theory is a negative thing, you know, and in theory would result in a negative movement downwards. But again, we all know chart patterns are a directional thing; they're not really positional. So if we are above equilibrium or somewhere considerable, then I wouldn't really hold on to that too much personally. But yeah, I mean, I think we go up. Hopefully, we go up. Again, it's quite binary. If Harris gets voted in, that's not she's not really mentioned. I don't actually know her standing on crypto. I don't know if she's mentioned it, but it's definitely not going to be pro crypto. I'm not saying she's neutral or negative, but I don't really think she's made a example out of herself. Oh, no example of herself. I don't really think she's made a good example of saying I'm pro crypto. I don't know personally though, so she's definitely not going to be the bull choice for the markets in general, or maybe not in general, because obviously there's probably some, you know, different stocks out there or different tickers out there which will be positive due to a blue party voting. But I think as we see it, crypto as a whole, I think will definitely go downwards if a blue party voting was the case. And we all know Trump is definitely the bull option when it comes to the charts as a whole. So, you know, hopefully we get Trump. I think this will still continue to do our thing. I still think we're going to hold this equilibrium because, again, we still haven't really gone below it yet. We're coming back above. But, you know, if we have the nice normal chart action, excluding, you know, the idea that we have these votes coming in, which will kind of sway how the market moves. The hopeful action, which hopefully should happen, will be we print above this equilibrium. We found support at breaker block. We're going to continue onwards, do a higher high, back up towards here. I think with the help, the propulsion of a electoral announcement will bring us towards this 75k range. I think is mentioned up here. So I mean, my main areas on the grand scheme of things on the daily is going to be main area down here 68.3, 69.4, 72k at this top, and it's going to be 74.89. You know what, let me type it in actually. What do we have? We've got oops. We have 74.861, and we're also going to have a 76.042. So that's our range. That's our next range, okay? So let me kind of like center that. So these are my main ranges. Just looking at the daily, just looking at this dealing range. This is what we have. We have this area down here of support. We have this area which we've tried to fight at, came down again, doing our thing. The next area, obviously, if we do eventually see this area, if we don't see Harris get voted in, this will be where I'm aiming for next. If we do see Harris in, that's not going to be very good, okay? I definitely think we are going to see dumps past 68.3, 69, or whatever. Oh, again, it does depend on where we are when the announcements happen, but I do think we are going to see movements down. Again, if we are somehow above 72 and found support, then we might see big dump towards here. But again, I think it's going to be a massive dump. Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a massive, massive dump towards, you know, 65.6 and beyond, maybe even towards 62. I think, again, it does depend on where we are. That might be too rapid. I think maybe definitely towards the lower end of this range at about 65.6. I don't know exactly. Again, I'm not a fortune teller, but, you know, I don't really think it's going to be a good thing. That's all I'll say. Let me read the chat, actually. I have seen some more messages, which I have not read. I'm not reading that name. Okay. The fanboys are happy today. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry for saying your full name. Don't worry. I mean, obviously it's not government name. If it's your government name, you know what? If that's government name, fair play. You know what? That's a cool government name. You know, changing name to that. But have a drink. Still have full names, not a full reveal. Okay, good. Glad I haven't doxed you. Need to see a reclaim of 70,650. Yeah, absolutely. I think if we succeed past 70,700 area, then we've fully filled that inefficiency and we've continued onwards. But again, if there are still outlying orders there, then obviously that will still see a negative movement downwards. Also, technically, on the same idea, there's also a potential for there to still maybe be some outlying orders at about 72k as well. So, you know, I definitely think if we can, like I mentioned, I've actually pretty much already mentioned this, but yeah, if we can surpass, where is it, on the 1 hour, I think it was. Yeah, if we can surpass this 70,600 area, and there be no more outstanding orders, then obviously we're going to exceed it. But obviously, if we come back into it, come towards 70,930, fill some more sell orders, we then could see negative movement downwards. But what I could probably expect is a support at 69.7, 69.8 towards maybe 69.5, and that'll be another higher low. Obviously, that'll be a higher high because then we'll come towards 70,900, and then away we go. You know, it'll be it'll be like this. You know, so this will be good in terms of this, and then we'll continue onwards. Obviously, either finding resistance here and then changing sentiment. Not saying we're coming down to here, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think 70,650 area within here is definitely, like I already mentioned, there could still be outlining orders, and that's what I was saying before. I don't know fully on inefficiencies if they fully get filled based on a wick or not, but we have had a response off of this area where we have come down, so we might have already filled this, and then from there, like I said, 71, 120 at this order block is basically what I'm looking at for next for resistance. So yeah, so I think I'm going to move on now to Ethereum. I haven't looked at Ethereum in a while actually, so I will be interested to see what that does. Actually, we'll read this first on Bitcoin, and then we'll move on to Ethereum and Solana, and then we can wrap it up. Another drink. Actually, I'll check the Binance chat as well because I haven't done that yet. I'm not seeing anything. I mean, I'm not surprised. Binance is just full of spam. It's genuinely just like a mess of a place. Yeah, there's nothing there. That's fine then. Okay. Let me move back on then. So this article, I'll read this quickly. See what this guy thinks. I'm probably gonna end up agreeing with him because of his basic area he has. I'm probably gonna end up agreeing with this this guy or girl. And then yeah, let's just read it, whatever. So, will the US elections propel Bitcoin past 74k? Key metrics to track this week. Okay, so this is what he thinks based on. He's obviously got a very similar price to what I'm thinking. Obviously, with this 74, 75k. Actually, yeah, propelling it past 74k. Well, for me, it's basically within the basically 75k to 76k. So yeah, absolutely within this. So let's see how we got that result. So we've been fluctuating between 68 and 70k. Market analysis from CryptoPerb has released insights into the potential impacts for the election of Bitcoin's price trajectory, suggesting that based on current indications, Bitcoin could reach new record highs above 73,700 in the days following the election. 73,700, basically our high. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So what was he looking at? 200 week and 50 week SMAs. Right. So some pretty, 10 a penny, whatever. What's the saying? I can't remember what the saying is. Where it's like a common, a lot of people use 200 week and 50 week moving average. Obviously not saying anything against them, but you know what I'm saying. Curry at 59, 200 and 40, 700. So I think, that's basically saying 200 is above the 50, which I think is a positive thing. I think. Not too sure there. So looking at volume on ETFs and whatnot. Right, so basically it's saying that a significant proportion of Bitcoin holders are in profit. Is that of futures or is that of holders? Because that doesn't really mean a lot to me if that's of holders. Because a lot of people are going to be profit. Because again, okay, yeah, cool. We are in a very high scenario for Bitcoin. You know, this isn't the end of the movement. If the common person knows anything about market cycles, yeah, you know, we are in pretty much the highest position we've seen. Well, not right now, but obviously we can see there's different periods back here. But where we are, 69.5, we're in one of the highest scenarios we've seen. You know, we're in pretty much near the high of Bitcoin. So it's no surprise that the majority of Bitcoin holders are going to be in profit. Of course they are, because everyone's in profit because we're so high. Unless you're getting in short term. Because, okay, what's the likelihood of a long-term holder selling right now? There's definitely going to be people selling. What's the likelihood of someone like who's? There's definitely going to be there's definitely going to be a cutoff point where like you're either short term or you're long term. Like if you're investing it short term, yeah, you might sell now if you're in profit, whatever. If you're a long term holder, it's like, is this really the spur on at 69,528? Is this really what's going to spur you on to sell? Even though we've already seen 73.5 up here, you know what I'm saying? So a bunch of different things which are decently positive. Strong November ahead, yeah. November's pretty strong. You know what? This is a pretty much of an empty article. I was hoping this would be a bit stronger. So I want to see this. I did not want to see this. Actually, let's see though. Anything interesting? Let's look at this one more time. See if anything. All right. I want to see what this says as well. Actually, crypto has already won. Apparently, regardless of Trump or Harris win, Bitwise CIO. Chief Investment Officer says the outcome of today's US presidential election between President Donald Trump and Senator Kamala Harris. This note titled "Crypto has already won." Hugan stated, "There's nothing left to say about Tuesday's election." Short-term, a Trump victory is better than the Harris victory. Long-term, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoins will thrive regardless of points. Yeah, I agree with that. I suppose. Yeah, I mean, the vote. It's not like it's gonna. I said this actually. I already said this in my area. It's like the vote for Harris doesn't necessarily mean Bitcoin's going to be over. We're going to go to 10K. It's just not going to be very good. Like I said, short-term. So yeah, I do agree with that. There's probably a whole lot of yap over here. I don't really care what his numbers are. But no, yeah. Again, it's not really going to change the world too drastically of crypto. If long-term, if Harris wins, it's definitely not going to be a very good thing. I'd rather it be Trump, but short-term wise, it's definitely going to make a large effect, which is what we're really talking about in these streams anyway. So let's move on though to Ethereum, because we've got 15 minutes left. Have a quick look at Ethereum and Solana, see what's going on. I think this is my shot. So okay, let me think. Last thing I talked about was it was going to be I think it's Monday last week was probably the last thing I looked at, which was probably back here. So I think I did mention a movement upwards. Yeah, I talked about 2,700, didn't I? I think I talked about 2,700, which we nearly printed at. We were $15 away from a print there. Our highest wick, though, was actually to fill this entire resistance. Yeah, I think I already talked about this. I talked about this moving upwards. So, yeah, I did. I drew a what's it called? A long. I drew this on the stream, I believe. So yeah, I talked about that moving upwards. We did moving upwards. Very nice. Obviously, from there, I didn't do any TA, but it makes sense. Once we had that moving upwards, we're going to have movement downwards. And again, we've also had negatives in the market, which has brought us down pretty rapidly. This is also a massive fair value gap here as well, which we've already looks like we've filled and then came down again. So we've already filled this. I'm going to delete it then. Also have fair value gap here, which we've also filled and then came down again. So we're fighting pretty harshly at this area here. You can see on the 4-hour, we've basically printed and bounced off of purple line twice, which is expansion line, which is 2,400. So we're in the mud a bit for Ethereum right now. Not quite broken below extension line. And, you know, what do we see when we look at Bitcoin and we see it come to extension line, bounce off it a couple times, and then massively dump? Well, we see it come to extension line, we see it bounce 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, and then we dump. So, actually, you know what? I'll invert the chart. There we go. So, this is not too dissimilar from what we see to Bitcoin. You know, we see Bitcoin come up, we see it surpass the red line, we see it come towards, again, this is a bit of a smaller range, so it looks a bit uglier on this range. But anyway, we see it come to these ranges a couple times, maybe 3 times, 4 times, whatever it is, and then we see it dump, right? Well, I think we could have the opposite scenario for Ethereum, because it reacts the same on both regards. So it would be a scenario where we come to it, bounce off it, and then come upwards. So I think we can have something very similar here. If we do hold this purple line and above, basically saying we're not going to come into this next range, we're going to stay in the range between 2,429 and 2,672. That range we have right here, this main range here. So if we do have that, it'll be this bounce, it'll be a come up, which will then be probably a bounce between 2,529 and 2,573. So I definitely think we can come up from here. Similar with Bitcoin, I do think we are going to hold this equilibrium, and we are going to come upwards. So I think very similar for Ethereum. I do think we are going to come up towards this range here. Obviously, this will be below here. A decent suit to risk reward ratio, 3.86 move upwards. I definitely think we are going to see move upwards. I don't think right now. I think we are going to hover a bit. But what I would do is, if it gets back towards this line again, if it gets towards 2,400 again, that'll probably be my entry. I do think we could have one more movement back down towards it. So I might shimmy this down and then surpass this, from here, just past here, and then hold this still, which will then be a 5.2. So instead of buying right where we are right now, I would probably wait for, if you were to trade this, not financial advice, I wouldn't trade this. Again, I'm just someone who looks at the charts. I don't, give financial advice. I do think we are going to see maybe one more movement downwards towards 2,400. Again, that's a decent move down. It's not something crazy. It's 1.3. We can see that definitely before. Depending on what the market's doing, we could definitely see a 1 point, whatever it was again, a 1.2 move downwards before, anything crazy happens. This isn't going to, the only way for this to move that can happen. It's not like it has to be a market dump or Bitcoin has to come all the way to a crazy number just for this to happen. It can happen within where we are right now. So I definitely think we could come and have one more bounce off of 2,400 before we come up again, which would then lead us to have a 5.26% move upwards towards equilibrium. Again, that could be higher. This could be higher as well, and it probably will be higher. This is the outer rim. This could be this line. It could be even this line, which would then be a 7 move. Again, I'm trying to keep it a bit conservative here. I'd rather it be here, or we could probably come to this, which is actually a breaker block. So this will probably be resistance, but again, you could get out here, but I reckon longer term we are going to see a surpass of this. It could be a thing where we do this and then continue onwards like this. We are going to see a surpass of this, considering how overly downwards extended we are in Ethereum. I definitely think we're going to come up. And think about what happens when you do this on extensions on Bitcoin. We surpass order blocks, we surpass breaker blocks. So it's not crazy to say we're going to have a bounce off of this area and surpass order blocks and breaker blocks and then come up to equilibrium. Because again, what happened, we looked at 2 scenarios where we've bounced off of the extension line for Bitcoin. One, we came below equilibrium, and the one we've done right now, we came to equilibrium, found support, and then we've come below again in a different move down. So we've had one where we come to equilibrium and one where we came just a decent amount below equilibrium. So in this case, flipping it, if we were to apply that, let's say if we're looking at Bitcoin again, we flipped it, it would be come to find resistance at equilibrium and then come to find resistance above equilibrium. So if you apply it to Ethereum, it should in theory be at least a movement to equilibrium, if not more, like I said. So yeah, I'd probably wait for a retracement back towards 2,400. I think we have one more bounce. I could be wrong though. Again, not financial advice. But I think we might have another bounce. But if we look at the general trend though, we are definitely in a downtrend. You can see a very obvious downtrend here. We've done another lower low, so I reckon we're going to do another lower high. You can see the difference between here is pretty thin, so that could be a wick at 2,673. So I think even longer term, coming towards, how many days does this take? It's not really long term. It's like 4 days, 5 days. Coming into a week, I could definitely see it come back up towards 2,673. But we are in a downtrend as I see it right now. Again, 4 days, 5 days is going to be election announcement. So again, I'd hold off on that. This trade towards equilibrium is definitely what am I saying? It's definitely going to be a shorter term trade. It might take, a day to happen. A day, maybe 2 days max for this to come up. I don't think it'll take that long though. It might be a day. It might take a day to come up to here. So again, that movement towards here is 4 or 5 days. Once anything gets towards 4 or 5 days, that's when you're starting to enter the realm of election announcements, which is then when things are going to get crazy. So, yeah, take everything with a pinch of salt, like I said in this stream, because again, the run-up to elections and the election results itself is definitely going to be, you know, going to cause a bit of shaky waters in crypto. But again, as I see it, I think we are definitely going to come back towards equilibrium for Ethereum. I think we continue this market trend as we see it right now, continue to do what we're doing. So, yeah, Solana, let's see what we're doing. See what's happening. Okay, so what do we see? We did come to 73.07, which is my first target. My next target was 84 or 85, basically. We didn't quite reach that. We were so close. We're at 83, 183, 83. I don't think we had, unless I missed something back here. I don't think I missed anything back here, though. Unless we have something back here, maybe one of these ones. You can see this is breaker block, which is going to be support, but it can be resistance. You know, maybe we had something here. You know, if we shimmy this across, which takes up pretty much the entire thing. You know, do we have resistance here? You know, we did have a bounce off of this. You can see this midline here. So technically there was something here. I don't like it though. I'm gonna delete it. So we fell short by 1.5%, which is unfortunate. But we did have that run up. We definitely had this run up to here. I'm still holding on to this 184 to 185 dollar range, which we have for Solana. But again, remember what I said last time I looked at Solana. My main ranges were these two prices, one at equilibrium, one at this high, and obviously we do have these previous breaker blocks back here for I don't know what day this was actually for Solana. Oh, I remember this one being tricky because I couldn't find when this was resistance or support. I can't remember when it was. Let me scroll back a bit. Oh. Take a while. So I'm on the 1 hour. It's going to take a while. There we go. It was a negative order block, so it's going to be positive. I mean, it's green. It's going to be positive breaker block, which is where it is. So this is going to be a positive thing. So we still can't use the resistance, but it's going to be a positive thing. And that is formed. Where again was that formed? Was that not this? Did I not just make this green? Oh, I made something else green, didn't I? Oh. This was orange. This was green. Yeah, this is positive, right? So it's a positive breaker block. So taking that on board, what do we have? Breaker blocks. You form order block, you use it as resistance once or twice, and then you flip it as support. So we found resistance here. We found a bigger resistance, or found a surpass of this resistance. Obviously found resistance anyway, came down. So the next visit at this area is probably going to be flipping it as support. So I think next time we come towards $180, I think that's when we flip it and use it as support, which in that case we are going to then come to 185 and this area up here. So I definitely think, you know, we have our movement, whatever we're going to do, we're then going to have this bounce and then come upwards again. I definitely think we'll have this sort of movement, whatever we do down here. But to quickly look down where we are, obviously we've got 4 minutes left of the stream. Let's shimmy across some of these areas we have and see what we have going on for Solana. So, good support this area. I think this is just an order block though. But, you know, whatever. I think it was support anyway. So support, obviously we then flipped it resistance. But again, it's not a breaker block. Remember, this is an order block area. What is an order block? It holds on to its true, you know, regime, if you will. So this was a positive order block. We then found support multiple times. Obviously, dipped below, printed roughly within support area. Found support again. Again, it's not destined to be a breaker block. So we did use a resistance, but again, we flipped it pretty easily because again, it's not truly a order block or a breaker block. Sorry. And then we found support again. So pretty good so far. Nothing too crazy there. We have another order block here, I would say, which it looks like we are potentially flipping. And again, this is also a positive order block. So if we draw that across, I'm gonna make it green, even though it's not a breaker block. I'm gonna make it green to show. Actually, no, make it orange, whatever. So we have another order block there, which is a positive order block, which we then flip below. So it's not supposed to be a breaker block. So we are eventually going to properly flip this, which I think we are doing right now. So I think we are doing this flip. We're going to hold this as support at $165 as well. These are breaker blocks. I think these are positive breaker blocks, both of them. So I think we are eventually going to see surpasses of these. So I think we basically have a straight line again towards equilibrium at 173 to 177. So I think we are going to have another test of here. But in terms of trend line, what are we doing? Or in terms of market trend? Well, we had this high, this low, this high. We've now surpassed this low. So if we start to do a high which isn't as high as 183, we're then going to be in a downtrend, which, you know, obviously not, it's not like a permanent thing, but will in theory then be in a downtrend. So yeah, I think we're going to do our thing. If we do a high, then we'll get out of this. At that point, it'll be expanding triangle, which then might bring us down. But again, this is, I'm not gonna look at this. I don't really look at this. These what, I've forgotten the word. The chart pattern, that's one. I don't really look at the expanding triangle. I don't really like expanding triangles too much. As I see it right now, we're probably gonna hold support at 165 to 163.5. This area is gonna be pretty decent support, just how it was like down here. So I think we're gonna hold this support, come back up towards 173, 177, and see where we go from there. Probably a bounce, maybe hold support, a little bit of a hoverage. Either we come down, come up again. But by then we'll probably have the election announcement. So daily, which again, coming 4 days is probably going to when we're going to see our movement downwards, or our movement downwards or upwards, depending on what the market does due to the election. So again, it might take a couple of days to get towards equilibrium. We might be at equilibrium by the time of the election. So I think the safest thing to say, again, we've already started the movement upwards. So I guess it does depend if you want to get in. Obviously not financial advice or anything like that. So if we did it from equilibrium or order block middle point towards the bottom of here, it would be 4.69. Let's say we're at the top of here, because again, we're going to have, I don't know when they're going to announce the elections, but if it takes a couple of days, it might be end of this week. I don't know if they announce on weekends. I don't know if that's the thing they do or not. Again, I'm not sure. If they do announce on weekends, then we'll probably be within equilibrium by the time it gets announced. If we put stop loss below the equilibrium, below order blocks, and then some, then we'll actually, let's do it a bit lower. Let's do it below equilibrium, or below the high, or the low of this range. You'll have a decent risk reward ratio, probably a 7.6 moving upwards on the maximum level anyway, for Solana. But I definitely think we'll probably be within $173 to $177 by the time of the election results get announced. I think, personally, not financial advice. So yeah, let's see how we retrace. But and again, I wouldn't worry about the high and lows of this. We've done a lower low. If we do a lower high, then we'll be in a downtrend. Or if you're looking at the expanding triangle. Actually, is there an expanding triangle? Yeah. If you're looking, no, it's not an expanding triangle. It's a symmetry thing. I don't know what it is. If you're worried about any of these negative chart patterns, remember, we've got elections announced in a couple of days, whenever it is. So I wouldn't be worried, really. Make sure you've got proper risk management, especially in these. If you are a trading election and you are thinking Trump's going to win, which obviously, we know how the American government can be when it comes to recounts and setups, if you will. So I guess we will see how it results. I would be careful. Make sure you have proper risk management. And Godspeed. Let me check the balance chat and the chat before I end the stream, though, because we are at 10 o'clock now. So let's see. Let's see what people are saying. But I'm going to end the stream, though, so I'm not going to do any extra coins. I'm not seeing anything on balance. I'm not going to bother with balance. I'm going to close it down, actually. Anything on YouTube? I don't see anything on YouTube. So that's it from me, then, I think. I've tried to keep it on time. We're at 10 o'clock. I'm surprised we actually ended the stream at 10 o'clock, because I normally yap on and it's like 15 minutes past, quarter past 10, and it's this, that, the other. But, we actually got through it at 10 o'clock, which is pretty amazing work. So I guess we'll see. To kind of summarize how I'm feeling, I'm not on the fence of what I've talked about today, especially with some of these moving upwards, like I said with Equilibrium, like I said with Ethereum, and it coming back up towards 2,700, and with Bitcoin coming above Equilibrium, bouncing and coming towards, where did I say it comes to? 71, 120. Yeah, I'm not worried about those predictions on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. It's more so about in the coming 4 days what we see for election. Because again, I think across the board, I wouldn't really expect the majority of, TA people to really be trying to give any predictions. Because again, I think they're all going to say the same thing as I'm saying, which is we've got elections. It's hard to chart elections. I'd rather, try and guess of what, who's going to be voted in rather than what the charts are going to do. Because again, the charts are going to respond based on who's actually being put into office, whatever the word is. So yeah, anyways, regardless, thank you all for joining. I really do appreciate it. Every single stream, I appreciate you guys joining. If you do talk, if you don't, because I know there are some people who watch who don't say anything, or maybe say one thing, this or the other, or not really you guys, because the majority of you guys who say things are normally the ones who talk anyway. So shout out to you guys anyway. But if you are someone who who joins the stream and you don't really talk but you like to watch, shout out to you as well. I don't want to alienate people because I do talk to people who do talk. Again, you know what I'm saying? You actually talk about stuff so I can actually respond to it. But, you know, don't want to alienate people and not give shout outs to people who do watch anyway because, you know, you might just want to watch. So shout out to you anyway. If you watch and you don't message, that's okay. If you are new and you enjoyed and you thought this guy's brilliant, he's amazing, he's the best shape man I've ever seen in my life, which obviously if you weren't thinking that, then I don't know what you're thinking, okay? Because I am the best in the entire world. Do consider subscribing, following, notifications. Also, while you're down there, like the stream, and in the description, useful links down there. Mainly is the Telegram and the Twitter. Those are the main ones where we are. Obviously, Mike does amazing content on Twitter. There are different videos you don't see on YouTube, you don't see on Binance, on the Twitter. So do go follow the Twitter, do go join the Telegram. I would urge you strongly, especially in these coming days. We are going to do another stream, an electoral stream on tomorrow, actually. I should probably say this. If anyone who is still watching who is new to the channel, and all you guys anyway, we're doing a in-office stream tomorrow. I think we're giving away more stuff. We're not going to be dressed up though. It's not Halloween anymore. We're not going to be dressed up, but we are going to be giving stuff away. I think we are giving some crypto away and this and the other. But an election night stream is going to be on Wednesday. Again, also, it's not going to be in the announcement unless they somehow count all the votes in a day or in an evening, or in a night, whatever it's going to be. Then fair enough to them. But you know, we're doing a stream tomorrow. There's going to be giveaways. If you want to join, go to Telegram. All the information is going to be there. I would urge you to do all that. And that's about it, really. So, thank you, all of you, for joining the stream. I do appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow. Michael will also see you tomorrow. And, yeah, thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Adios.